Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, from the campus of Immaculate Heart Academy in the township of Washington, New Jersey. It's the first game of the IHA Invitational between the IHA Blue Eagles and the Pensbury High School Falcons in the first game of this two-day event. Good morning to you here on NJ.org Varsity. Matt Nelson alongside Ricky Sobrano, and we are here at IHA for what is so far a chilly morning here in the township of Washington. But Ricky, these players are certainly getting ready. As these players are getting ready for the first game of this two-day event for IHA, playing softball here is like living at home, for these kids. And we're going to see some of the best talent from the Garden State that IHA has to offer.
Well, this is a very, very good team. They're 2-0 right now. They come in ranked number 24 by Max Preps, and an excellent season last year where they were 31-2. So this team then play. They have multiple D1 recruits. This is an excellent team. We'll see about Pensbury. We don't really know about them that much. They haven't played a game yet this year, so they're a bit of a mystery, a team out of Pennsylvania, the Pensbury Falcons. But IHA, we can definitely expect some fireworks out of them. They've only allowed one run as a team so far in 2 games.
And the Falcons, who are making the trip all the way from Fairless Hills, PA, which is about a 30-minute drive northeast of Philadelphia.
Closer than me.
Well, closer to me as far as that goes. They're making the long hour-and-a-half commute all the way from nearby, from Fairless Hills, PA, and they've come out for the first game of this event. As you mentioned, we really don't know much about this team, but I spoke to the head coach of IHA yesterday, Anthony Lareza, and he said we should be looking at a great matchup here for both of these teams.
Yeah, we definitely should. Again, this is one of the opening games of the IHA Invitational. Anytime it's an Invitational, you know typically the quality of play will be high. They don't just let anybody into these things. So it should be a good game. And again, we can expect definitely a high level of play out of the Blue Eagles because they have those 4 D1 recruits. That's Steph Thomas, who's committed to Lafayette. Danielle Ibarra, she's committed to Iowa. Angelina McGuire, who's going to Fairfield. And Rachel Power, committed to Villanova. Those are some pretty big names, all Division I schools. So these girls can play Pensbury. And again, Coach Anthony Lareza, you know better than us right now about Pensbury. That's all we can say about that. So if he thinks they can play, I'm inclined to agree, and we should be in for a good matchup. Steph
Thomas, arguably one of the best high school pitchers, not just in the Garden State, but also the country as well, coming to Lafayette. Her numbers, as we will talk about them in the first inning, are off the charts, and Coach Lareza told me that he refers to her as being part of the Mount Rushmore of IHA, and I told him, you know what, she's based on her stats, she's the Nolan Ryan of this ball club. Well, IHA is taking the field as we speak, and it looks like we are just about set to get underway here in the IHA Invitational.
And that's going to be Steph Thomas taking her final warm-ups now, but her scouting report, she throws in the mid to latter 60s and mid to high 60s, and that's pretty good heat. Doesn't get much better than that for a softball pitcher. They timed it once, and of course, the softball mound, it's not really a mound, it's a circle actually, is much closer than the 60 feet of the baseball mound. And 60 miles per hour is equivalent to basically the high 90s. You need the same reaction time to hit a 60 mile per hour fast pitch softball fastball as you do a 95, 97 mile per hour fastball. So that's the type of heat that Steph Thomas is bringing to the circle today.
You mentioned Steph Thomas. Let's go over her numbers on this season. Already 2-0 with a clean ERA. That's 0.00. 14 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, 17 strikeouts, and she is holding her opponents to a 102 batting average. And in her last game against AHA, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, and 8 Ks. So we're just about set to go as IHA takes the field. And Pensbury is ready to get us underway as Margaret Salamone will lead off for the Falcons. We'll give you the starting lineups in just a moment. Game time temperature of about 45 degrees. And a gorgeous morning for high school softball here in North Jersey. And we're underway as the first pitch is taken for a called strike, 0-1.
So Salmond is a catcher leading off. That's a little bit unorthodox to have a catcher leading off, but sometimes that's one of your better athletes on the team.
0-1, slap foul off to the right side, 0-2.
Salmond quickly in a hole, and Thomas, we can expect she'll be working from ahead in the count very often, given her numbers so far this year.
0-2 pitch is taken, I believe it was outside for a ball. Mia Pitt will bat second. She is playing third. Farrell Groder will bat third. She's playing in right. Danny Litwin is the cleanup hitter playing first. And we'll do the 1-2 count again as Salmond fouls it into the trees.
And we do mean that literally, this field blanketed by trees in all areas, especially behind the plate.
Casey Bouldersdorf will bat fifth, and she will be the starting pitcher for this game for Pensbury in the bottom half of the first.
Both teams have their pitchers hitting as well. You have the option in softball as a flex player. The pitcher does not have to hit. Both of these teams will have their pitcher in the starting lineup.
2-2 line drive hit towards second. And one away here in the top of the first.
It's Regan Jones who made that play over at second base. What a one-hopper, easy play. Routine for the first out of the ball game.
So here is the third baseman, Pitt. And the first pitch skips behind home plate. Ball one.
Two righties so far against the righty Steph Thomas. See if Pensbury has any lefties in their lineup as we go along.
And that's taken for a called strike. So the count is now at 1-1 on Mia Pitt. Defense for IHA we'll give to you in just a moment, as the pitch is fouled away and the count is now 1-2. Actually, the rest of the Pensbury lineup, Fiona Link is in the 6-hole. She plays left. Bailey Zaccaro, the 7-hole hitter, is playing short. We weren't able to get the Pensbury roster until the last moment. A swing and a miss, and that's the first strikeout of the game for Thomas. 2 away here in the Pensbury first inning.
And we could probably expect more of those as we go along. Surrounding out the Pensbury lineup, batting 8th, it's going to be Marissa Alpa. She's the designated player. And 9th is Tori Andrus, the center fielder.
So here is Farrell Groder stepping into the plate for the right side. She quickly grounds one to third. Guerrero with a high toss to first, and she is safe. Farrell Groder reaches on the high throw by the third baseman Reese Guevara, who we will talk probably a lot about in this game. And so there's the first base runner. And the 6th hit allowed by Steph Thomas in 2014.
That'll probably be scored an error, because otherwise, without the high throw, that's an easy play.
Danny Litwin seeing her first at-bat of the game. And the pitch. Ground ball hit down the third base line. It is foul.
So again, we don't have the aid of an official scorer right now, so we'll deem ourselves the official scorers, but I think we're still looking for our first hit of the ball game. That's a safe bet.
The scoreboard here at IHA is used more often for the lacrosse and soccer games played at IHA, as Guerrero picks up the ground ball, but it's actually ruled foul, and 2 strikes on Groder. Well, here's the defense for IHA. We mentioned Thomas on the mound. The outfield, Emily Walter in left, Angelina McGuire in center. Rachel Pollard is out in right. And Groder is safe on the pickoff attempt at first.
Groder was leaning just a little bit. In softball, you're not allowed to take a lead until after the pitch is thrown.
And that pitch is taken low for a ball.
So in baseball, it's termed a secondary lead. In softball, all of the leads are a secondary lead, but that was a big one by Groder, and she was just able to get back.
I believe we have 1-2. The count on Farrell Groder. She grounds one past Guerrero and in the left field for what may be the first hit of the ball game. Again, we're not sure.
Well, that one will be a hit.
Well,
that was just right through the hole.
So Pensbury with runners at first and second here at the top of the first, and they're getting off to a very quick start.
So now it'll be pitcher on pitcher, which is always an interesting matchup.
That's right.
Boltersdorf at the plate.
First lefty that Thomas is facing, and the first pitch is a called strike.
Boltersdorf, a pretty big girl. Looks like she has some power in the outfield, playing very, very deep right now.
And the pitch is hit down the left field line. That is going to be a foul ball.
Just did kick foul. It was slicing. It's Boltersdorf. That's a nice piece of hitting. She stayed with it, just slapped it the other way. And she just missed extra bases and what would have surely been the first run of the game.
Scoreless here in the top of the first. Runners on first and second. The 0-2 is high for ball one.
Close pitch there. Good take by Boltersdorf.
And Boltersdorf fouls it back to the screen, and the count stays put at 1-2. The infield for IHA. We have Guerrero at third, Danielle Ibarra playing it short. Swing and a miss. And a big strikeout for Steph Thomas, her second of the ball game. And that retires the side. No score at the end of the top of the first. We'll head to the bottom of the first here on the NJ.org Varsity Sports Network. Bottom of the first in the first game of the IHA Invitational, where the Blue Eagles will come to bat, trying to put the first runs of the game on the board. And the pitcher, Steph Thomas, will lead off for the Blue Eagles rather. Reese Guevara will bat second, playing third. Danielle Ibarra will bat third, playing short. Angelina McGuire bats cleanup and plays in center field. Rachel Pollard batting fifth, playing in right field. Batting sixth, Emily Cieslak playing first. And the first pitch to Thomas is taken up and in for a ball, 1-0. Thomas batting .375 in the first two games of the season, 3 for 8. And the second pitch, taken out of the strike zone, so the count 2-0 on Thomas. She is a .360 lifetime hitter. And batted .455 as a freshman. And the senior is now ahead of the count, so quickly a 3-0 count on Steph Thomas. Casey Boltersdorf in the circle for the Falcons. I may have the count incorrect, but it looks like the count
looks like we're at 3-2 if I'm reading the scoreboard correctly now.
Got me on that one, Ricky. Line drive up the middle, and Thomas starts IHA off with a base hit.
Well, now the count is a moot point as Thomas has a well-struck single to start off the ball game for the Blue Eagles. She is, as you said, a dual threat, an excellent hitter and an excellent pitcher as well. Now she'll be pinch run for. That'll be the designated player, Regan Jones, the flex player.
So Rivera steps in, the lefty, takes her stance against the pitcher, Casey Boltersdorf. And time is called.
Beg your pardon, that's actually Monarchy over at first. So now we'll have a lefty-on-lefty matchup here, which you don't really see a lot of in softball. You don't seem to have a lot of left-handed pitchers. So Boltersdorf is a bit of an anomaly. As the infield creeps way in for Guevara.
0-1 on Guevara. She takes the pitch outside.
She had squared the bunt, too, so they could be playing a little small ball here.
Sharma making the calls behind home plate for Pensbury. And so far, pretty long at bat, with only 2 pitches thrown. 1-1 the count, and the pitch is fouled back. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Late swing there. Boltersdorf jammed Guevara inside. She tried to fight it off and just ended up being a harmless foul ball, so she's in a 1-2 hole here.
Chilly temperatures to start the IHA Invitational off. And a line drive off the glove of the shortstop puts runners at first and second, with no outs.
So off the glove of Zaccaro over at short. Not much he could do about it. That one was scalded. So that will likely be scored a single. I'm deeming myself the official scorer today. At least for us.
Danielle Ibarra at the plate. She takes the first pitch for a called strike. Ibarra batting .333, 2 for 6 in the first 2 games of the season, with 3 runs and an RBI. Ibarra is a .438 lifetime hitter. And Ibarra, one of the 4 seniors, we mentioned heading to Division I college. She's actually heading to the Hawkeye State in the fall to play for Iowa.
And that'll be a big adjustment, definitely, going from New Jersey to Iowa. But that is a high level of play. Not a lot of similarities, I would think, between Jersey and Iowa.
And so far, Boltersdorf not really off to a slow start here, but runners on first and second at no outs.
She has not found a rhythm yet.
Ground ball hit to first, and this will advance the runners as Ibarra is tagged out for the first out of the IHA first.
It was Litwin doing the honors over at first. I thought initially she might have had a chance to turn 2, but opted just to take the shore out and tag out a bar, so that serves essentially as a sacrifice bunt.
Angelina McGuire steps in, the cleanup hitter for the Blue Eagles. And the first pitch is taken for ball one.
Another lefty in this lineup for IHA. That's 3 of the 4 so far against the lefty on the hill.
And McGuire backs out and is now ahead of the count 2-0. McGuire is heading to the Metro Atlantic Athletic Conference in the fall, where she will become a Fairfield Stag. She has a strong arm, plays center field, and Coach Anthony Lareza told me that she can actually hit the ball 240 feet tops.
Well, she has a home run and a triple already this year in 2 games.
And Boltersdorf walks McGuire to load the bases. Still, actually, there's now 1 out after the unassisted ground ball to first by Ibarra.
So now we'll have a conference on the mound, as they obviously need to settle Boltersdorf down here. She's struggling. She's fallen behind in the count on several occasions. She's given up 1 well-struck line drive single and 2 hits already so far. It's been a struggle for her on the hill, and she just doesn't look very comfortable. She's working very, very slow, pacing around the hill a lot, or rather the circle a lot, and that's the mark of a pitcher that is not in rhythm just yet. Anytime you're working slowly, typically means you're fighting it, and she certainly is right now.
And the top 4 at the IHA batting order is certainly a big-time issue for any team that plays these Blue Eagles. They are a deep threat whenever they come to the plate.
Well, they come in with a .350 team batting average, so that's not too shabby.
Rachel Pollard is now the batter, and she takes the first pitch for a called strike.
That was a big pitch by Boltersdorf. Can't fall behind with the bases loaded.
Pollard will be heading to what is now known as the New Big East in the fall, as she will be playing for Villanova. And grounds 1 to first. Throw at the plate is in time, and the bases will remain loaded as Thomas gets thrown out at the plate.
So if you're scoring at home, you can score that a fielder's choice 3-2 with Pollard reaching and Thomas being erased at the plate.
So 2 away here in the bottom of the first. Still no score. Bases loaded for Emily Cieslak. And Cieslak takes the first pitch for a strike. Cieslak coming in batting .286 and takes the breaking ball outside for a ball.
You mentioned Power going to Villanova and the New Big East. Is that the New Big East or the ghost of the Big East? The skeleton of it.
Well, considering the fact that Villanova is technically still a member of the Big East, I guess you could say they are technically part of the New Big East with all the new members now involved.
Although most people probably can't name more than 3 or 4 at this point.
Cieslak now ahead of the count, 3-1. Casey Boltersdorf still trying to get out of this banged up inning. And the count is full as Cieslak takes the pitch for a called strike. Outfielders playing at medium depth.
So the runners will get an extra jump here with the bases loaded, 3-2 and 2 outs.
Ground ball, back to Boltersdorf. Throw to first, in time, side retired. So Casey Boltersdorf starts off the first inning on a bad note, but gets out of a jam and does not allow a run. We're scoreless at the end of one here on the NJ.org Varsity Sports Network. We go to the top of the second inning as Fiona Link fouls off the first pitch in the count 0-1. We are scoreless after one inning of play, and the Blue Eagles were very close to getting a run on the board back in the bottom of the first. But Casey Boltersdorf left the bases loaded.
And it's just very noticeable when you watch the two-pitch Thomas versus Boltersdorf. Even though Boltersdorf is significantly bigger, Thomas has a lot more bite on her fastball. Really pops the mitt.
Ground ball hit to first. Cieslak picks it up and steps on the bag for the first out of the inning.
That's a routine start to the inning for Thomas, as Link just couldn't get around. And again, it's been basically all heat out of Thomas so far.
Bailey Zaccaro steps in. Thomas deals, and the pitch is fouled off into the trees for strike one.
So Zaccaro actually had a chance to make a nice leaping stab last inning on a line drive off the bat of Guevara, but was unable to do so.
And she fouls the second pitch off into the trees for strike two. Well, you may notice that IHA, this is actually a multi-purpose field, as the softball teams
Very
also
multi-purpose.
share this field with the soccer and lacrosse teams.
You've got the lines of several out there right now. Looks like it's set up for lacrosse as well at this point. Soccer to follow shortly thereafter, I would think. Looks like Steph Thomas wanted to get a different ball out there on the mound, cycle through a couple. Now she's got what she wants, and it looks like we're ready to go.
And Thomas with the wine, and the pitch is low for ball one.
So Thomas continues to work from ahead in the count, and that's the position of power.
Fly ball into the infield. Ibarra calls everyone off and makes the catch, and there's two away.
It's also worth noting here that it's a bit windy. Wind is blowing from our left, so left to right, which is blowing in towards the infield, and that one wasn't hit all that hard, but the wind certainly did knock it down a bit.
Alpaw is the batter for the Falcons of Pensbury High School. And she took the first pitch for strike one.
Alpaw, the designated player, so she is not in the field this afternoon. Or morning, rather.
And the ball grazes the dirt for ball two.
Thomas trying to complete the first 1-2-3 inning of the ball game.
3-1 on Alpaw. And for those of you just tuning on YouTube, we say good morning to you. Slow dribbler down toward third, and it rolls foul, and the count is full.
Smart play by Guevara. That was essentially a swinging bunt And she really didn't have a play on it. So it was smart to let it roll foul.
Swing and a miss, and Thomas strikes out the side. That's her third punch out of the ball game. No score after 1.5. We go to the bottom of the second here on the NJ.org Varsity Sports Network. No score after 1.5 innings of play here in the first game of the IHA Invitational. Matt Nelson, Ricky Sobrano here with you for our first softball broadcast of the spring season.
Stereo, all right.
Bottom of the order for the Blue Eagles. Gianna Sharma, the catcher, steps in to face Casey Woltersdorf. And the pitch takes a hop in the dirt for ball one.
So let's see if Boltersdorf can get into a better rhythm here in the second.
She left the bases loaded in the first inning after allowing 2 hits, 1 walk, and a fielder's choice to the Blue Eagles. Sharman fouls this one just shy of the woods for strike 1.
And even though she got out of it, that's really not a path she wants to travel too often if she can avoid it.
Three and 1 on Gianna Sharma. No score here in the home half of the second. Bases empty, no outs. The pitch taken high for ball 4, and Sharma will take her base.
So right on cue, she does walk the leadoff girl of the inning. Second walk issued by Boltersdorf, and she will again have to deal with some trouble. So we'll have a pinch runner come on.
Taylor Kennerson will pinch run for Gianna Sharma. Emily Walter, the batter for the Blue Eagles, as she squares bunt. Throw back to first is 9 time.
Was juggled too by Whitland over at first. She didn't handle it cleanly. Not really a big secondary lead there, but Sharman decided to give it a go. I think I feel a raindrop now.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think I'm feeling a little bit of moisture on my sunglasses.
That's not good.
Which really can't be a good sign. Bunt squared, and it dribbles foul.
Looks like just the passing shower, though, because the clouds, there really aren't a lot of them in the sky. Looks like rain clouds to our right that are passing by, so we should be okay. Not that I'm a weatherman.
Scoreboard issues right now. I may be naive, but I believe we have a batter that is not in our starting lineup. That is Juliana Kosha, number 22 at the plate. And she pops this one right at the second baseman, Chrissy Hart, and that is out number 2. Check that. Kosha is actually the batter that's supposed to be number 9. I actually had my numbers wrong there for a minute, so I apologize for that.
Yeah, I believe that was Emily Walter at the plate just now. She popped out. Now here is Kocha.
That's actually Thomas at the plate, Ricky. Runner goes, and the throw is not in time. So Kennerson steals second easily. And the Blue Eagles have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. 1-0 on Thomas, and the pitch. Breaking ball that misses for ball 2. No score here in the bottom of the second. Runner at second, 2 outs. And Thomas takes the pitch for a called strike 1.
So after that stolen base, Boltersdorf again has to deal with a runner in scoring position for the second inning in a row, but this time the danger not as imminent as that one was high.
Three balls, and I believe 1 strike on Steph Thomas. Still having some minor scoreboard technical difficulties as Thomas works her way into the full count. Chrissy Hart, the second baseman, playing right in between the first and second bases. Thomas lifts one down the right field line and hooks foul and off the fence, and the count remains full.
That was a cue shot right there by Thomas. She tried to fight it off the other way. Was just barely unable to do so. That ball couldn't have been more than a foot foul or so, and if it was fair, would have resulted in the first run of the ball game. Thomas trying to help herself out a little bit.
Thomas lines one off the foot of Boltersdorf, and Kenderson advances to third on what should be ruled a base hit.
Yeah, that will be a single, no doubt there. Boltersdorf really didn't have any other play. Just hit her foot. She was trying to get out of the way. They're checking with her to make sure she's okay. That ball was scalded up the middle as they'll pinch run for Thomas again. But if it didn't hit Boltersdorf, it probably would have resulted in an RBI. So Boltersdorf helping herself out, if not a little bit painfully. And they are taking a look at her. Looks like she's moving around okay. See if they asked her to throw a couple warm-up tosses just to check. Looks like they might be doing that. And that is the plan of attack. She looks okay, though.
It looks like Thomas hit the pitch off of the right foot of Boltersdorf.
Yeah.
It scooted off to the right. And so we will have runners on the corners for Reese Guevara. There's an interesting story about Guevara because it's not often you hear a high school freshman athlete committing to a Division I school. She will be in the American Athletic Conference 4 years from now playing for the UConn Huskies.
That's impressive stuff right there. You hear about that sometimes in basketball, these 11-year-olds who recruit to Duke or whatever. Not in softball so much. I don't think so.
Those are crazy stories in basketball. Guevara also had some offers from North Carolina, Maryland, and Stony Brook University, which is just down the road on I-495, if my directions have been
Asking
right.
the wrong person there.
Well, I thought you live in it somewhere in that vicinity. Well, not exactly.
I've been on 495, if you're asking that, as that one's foul. But Guevara, in any event, just the fact that she already as a freshman is batting second in what is a pretty high-powered lineup on an excellent team, that really tells you all you need to know about her and what she brings to the table, or in this case, the plate. Already is a single today, 1 for 1, and has a chance for an RBI as, again, Boltersdorf is in trouble.
1 ball and 1 strike on Guevara, still scoreless with runners on the corners here in the bottom of the second and 2 outs. And Guevara fouls it right at home plate. Two strikes on Guevara. Daniel Monarchy is actually pinch running for Thomas. Runners go. Ground ball to second. And for the second inning in a row, Casey Boltersdorf gets out of a jam. No score as we go to the top of the third. When we come back, Ricky Sobrano will have the call here on the NJ.org Varsity Sports Network.
Back here for the top of the third on NJ.org Varsity. Ricky Sobrano alongside Matt Nelson. No score so far between IHA and Pensbury as we head to the top of the third. Steph Thomas out for a third inning of work, and she deals down low to Tony Andres, the center fielder, number 9 hitter for the Pensbury Falcons. Thomas virtually spotless so far. He's in a little bit of trouble in the first. 1-0, a swinging strike, 1-1. It's allowed 1 hit so far in the ballgame. Also a runner reached on an error that was in the first. Got the side in order in the second. Here's the 1-1. Just missed. A little bit inside, perhaps. 2-1. Thomas has also been involved offensively. 2 for 2 in the ballgame. So she is the star of the game so far. Not much doubt about that. And time is called here.
And when you look at her overall stats, you really have to consider, that she does rank among some of the all-time great, not just pitchers, but players here at the Immaculate Heart Academy.
2-1 is a swinging strike. That'll be even the count at 2-2. Change speeds on that last offering. Working quickly. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Andrus, swinging strikeout victim for out number 1. Here in the third, 4th strikeout of the ball game for Steph Thomas.
And that's strike number 21 on the season. Of course, Thomas will be heading to the Patriot League in the fall, where she will be playing at Lafayette University and will become a Leopard.
So here is Marguerite Salmore, the leadoff hitter, as the lineup turns over for Pensbury. That's line to second on 3 hops. That's an easy routine play for Jones. Score that 4-3, 2 quick outs for Thomas here in the third.
And that's 2 consecutive ground ball outs by Salmone. She grounded to second, out to second, back in the first inning.
So she likes that spot, but hasn't panned out for her so far. She's 0 for 2. Here's Mia Pitt, the number 2 hitter and third baseman. 0 for 1 today. Struck out swinging in the first, and she takes inside, ball 1.
And one of the things that I really like about Thomas is that she's more of a ground ball type pitcher. She has yet to allow a ball out of the infield.
The 1-0. Bounced weakly foul off the screen, 1-1. And she's kept the ball low so far, which is something you always want to see out of a pitcher. Can hurt you if they keep it down low, or at least it's not easy to. Been mostly ground balls and strikeouts so far for Thomas. She deals her 1-1. Just missed. That'll make the count 2-1 to Mia Pitt.
And the scoreboard, I'm not sure if that's correct, but it does say 2-2.
They didn't reset it after the last count, I believe, as the 2-1 is up high, 3-1. Wind whipping up here, playing games with our monitors.
That's never a good sign, especially when you have all this high def technology.
3-1 is fouled back to the screen. That'll run the count full, 3-2 to Mia Pitt. Base is empty. 2 down, top of the third. No score between IHA and Pensbury in game 1 of the IHA Invitational. Here's the payoff. Down low. So that'll make it 3-2 now. Thomas rocks and fires, grounded foul. So we'll do it again. Showers have mostly subsided for now. Sun back on the field. Looks like it's going to be a pleasant day. Still very early. It'll heat up a bit as we go on, not quite 10 o'clock. Called strike 3 on the inside corner, and Thomas wins the battle over Pitt. Pitt goes down looking for out number 3, second in a row, back-to-back inning for Steph Thomas. No score between IHA and Pensbury as we head to the bottom of the third. Casey Boltersdorf heads out for her third inning of work and hasn't exactly been perfect so far, but she has been effective. Hasn't surrendered a run just yet, though she's been in plenty of trouble. Here's Daniela Ibarra. She takes down low. Ball 1. 3-4-5 in the lineup this inning. The heart of the inning, or heart of the lineup rather, for IHA. That one skips in, a 38-foot drop ball, 2-0.
Ibarra grounded out to first in her first plate appearance of the game.
Here's the 2-0 down low, ball 3, and quickly Boltersdorf falls behind.
And we mentioned back in the top of the third, Steph Thomas had not allowed a ball out of the infield. The same can be said here for Boltersdorf.
Yeah, she hasn't allowed one out of the infield, but she has allowed several hits and walked a couple batters as well. She loaded the bases in the first. 3-1 up high, ball 4. So Ibarra works a leadoff walk, and in last inning she allowed runners on the corners, but worked out of that as well. So she's thrown a lot of pitches, had to work very hard, but she's so far managed to wiggle her way out of it. Here's Angelina McGuire, the powerful center fielder, another left-handed bat. McGuire walked in the first inning, so no official at bat. Looked like for a second Ibarra thought about going. This pitch was called a strike. Sharma popped out of her stance. Boltersdorf also took a ball off her foot last inning. Here's the 0-1, and right on cue, she hits McGuire in the foot.
That's a good
So
call
a
by
foot
you,
for a foot.
Ricky.
But I don't think Boltersdorf wanted to do that. Now it's runners on first and second, nobody out. IHA, this is the second time in 3 innings they've gotten the first 2 men of the inning on base. First time was in the first, and they failed to score. Here's Rachel Pollard. Squares the bunt, takes down low. The wheel play is on. They're charging at the corners with Sislak, or rather Litwin and Pitt. And then Zucchero and Hart will wheel around and cover third and first respectively. The 1-0, squaring again, gets it down. Fielded, and they'll take the play to first. Sacrifice successful. Litwin throwing out Pollard over at first with Hart covering. Score that 3-4. Sacrifice successful. Ibarra goes to third, McGuire to second.
You don't get that many 3-4s in softball nor baseball, and you know it's a good first out for Boltersdorf, as she will now face the bottom half of the IHA lineup.
Here's Sislak. Runners on second and third, 1 down. There's a strike on the inside corner. Second best chance to score of the ball game for IHA. They had the bases loaded and 1 down in the first. Failed to get a runner across. Now it's runners on second and third. 1 down again. Infield in. Weeks attempt there, and that'll make the count 0-2. Looked like a suicide squeeze was on there as the runner from third, that's Ibarra, was bounding home. Pitch was off the plate. Sislak had to get bat on ball to protect her runner, but now she's in an 0-2 hole.
And
Infield remains in.
Sorry, Ricky, the shortstop, Bailey Zucchero, is playing in between second and third. as Cieslak strikes out swinging. It's got to be a good play that Pensbury is trying to set up in case they have a play at third or at home.
So now the infield can back up a little bit with 2 down as Boltersdorf gets her first strikeout of the ball game. Here's Jana Sharma, the catcher. She takes up high, ball 1. Sharma walked last inning in her only plate appearance. Bottom of the third, no score between IHA and Pensbury. Runners on second and third, 2 down. IHA has threatened several times, but has yet to score. There's a called strike, 1-1.
And a good breaking ball by Boltersdorf. One of the pitches we really haven't seen out of her. Thomas has been throwing a lot of more slow off-speed pitches in this game.
1-1 is line up the middle, and that will net us our first run of the ball game. Throw to the plate. Gets away, but staying at third base in any event is Angelina McGuire. But that will be an RBI single for Jana Sharma to put IHA on top, 1-0. Sharma makes solid contact there. They elected not to send McGuire home. She stays at third as now a pinch runner comes on.
That's Taylor Tennyson, who's going to pinch run for Sharma for the second time in this game.
So she's on second. Sharma, the catcher, can go get her catching equipment back on. Here's the pitch from Boltersdorf. Inside, ball 1. So here is Emily Walter at the plate. Emily Walter 0 for 1 today. 1-0 IHA and a chance for more. Cue shot, foul. Down the first base line, 1-1. So Boltersdorf, the big lefty, has been in and out and mostly in trouble in this ball game, and IHA finally gets to her on the RBI single by Sharma. One is down low, 2-1.
And now the wind is starting to pick up, moving from our left to our right.
And that's been a near constant in this game. 2-1, grounded through the left side for a base hit. 1 run scores, that's all they'll get. Trotting home is Angelina McGuire, back-to-back RBI singles. For IHA, it's now a 2-0 ball game. Runners on the corners still, 2 down. Kennerson goes to third.
A great inning so far by the Blue Eagles as they are just tacking on runs to Boltersdorf. Remember, Boltersdorf got out of that jam, that bases loaded jam in the first inning, having no success with that here in the third.
Well, you play with fire, eventually you get burnt, and that's what's going on here as Kocha takes inside and then a little pump fake by Sharma to draw the runners back closer to the respective bases. Fake the third, look the first, executed by Sharma there. Runners going, throw to second is not in time, gets away into the outfield, and that will allow a runner to score. Kennerson trots home on the E2. It's now 3-0 IHA.
And now things are going from bad to worse for the Falcons of Pensbury High School. And they actually are playing in the second game of this IHA Invitational after the conclusion of this game.
Well, softball doubleheaders are not a strange thing, very common occurrence.
It's more common in high school and college. Not sure about professional softball.
Nor am I. Kocha takes inside, 1-2. Certainly for the girls out on the field now who will be playing college softball, and there are at least 4 of them on IHA that we know of. They'll have to get used to double headers. The 1-2 pop foul. Kocha stays alive. 2 outs, runner on second. 3 in this inning for IHA. In the bottom of the third, they finally have gotten to Boltersdorf. 2 will be charged to her. 1 will be unearned as it was on her catcher Sharma's throwing error. The 1-2. Popped up. See if it stays in play. It will not. Just gets over the fence down the first base line. So coach of the number 9 hitter staying alive. She gets on. The lineup will turn over. Steph Thomas waits on deck. It'll be a 1-2. Slow off-speed pitch. Just missed. Haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I wasn't
from Boltersdorf yet.
I really wasn't quite sure if that was
looked like an ephus
strike based on our angle.
The 2-2 popped shallow center, and missing it is McGuire, or rather Andrus. Throw to second is in time. So they get Kocha trying to get the second base, but it still allows a run to score. That should be charged in error to Andrus in center. We'll see how they score it, as that ball was certainly catchable. Scoring on the play is Walter. That'll make it 4-0, 4 in the inning. As IHA breaks through, they get to Boltersdorf. Blow this one open, make it a 4-0 game on 2 hits, 1 walk, an error, and a hit batsman. We head to the top of the 4th, 4-0. IHA on top. I don't know what the hell it was, but it was slow. Yeah.
This is not El Duque,
okay? There's ways to take something off of that ball, no matter how you're throwing it, underhand or overhand. Back here for the top of the 4th on NJ.org varsity. Ricky Sobrano alongside Matt Nelson, and Steph Thomas promptly bounces the first one down low for ball 1 to Farrell Groder. 4-0 ball game, top of the 4th. IHA on top of Pensbury, game 1 of the IHA Invitational. Thomas deals. Little soft liner, charging, throw to first, not in time. That ball just died on the turf. Jones, second baseman, charged in. Could not make the play.
And Groder
will be
jammed
an
that
single.
one in between first and second. Sorry about that, Ricky. And it was a tough play there for Jones to make, trying to charge in from second.
So here's Danny Litwin. Ball had some English on it off of the bat. There's a chopper to short. Second for 1, and no throw will be made back to first. That's a fielder's choice. 6-4, Zaccaro, or rather Ibarra, to Jones.
I think Ibarra had enough time to make the throw to first and try to get Litwin from reaching base.
She may have. It would have been close, but she elected not to risk it with the 4-run lead. Why risk a bad throw? Here's Boltersdorf, the big lefty. Weak rounder up the middle. Jones is second for 1, and again, they won't try to turn 2. Just get the shore out at second. Erase the lead runner for the second play in a row. Boltersdorf reaches on a fielder's choice, this time 4-6. So Jones and Ibarra have been busy this inning. 2 outs, runner on first, top of the 4th. 4-0 game, IHA on top. Here's Fiona Link, the left fielder.
I'm getting a really good smell right now. It's coming from behind us.
Yeah, they have barbecue something going on here.
They
have a pinch runner coming on here for Pensbury. We'll try to get you the number if we can see it. But Link is at the plate. Runner on first, 2 down. Up high, ball one.
I wouldn't mind having a barbecue sandwich right now at 10 o'clock in the morning.
A little bit early for that, maybe.
Well, at least for you, maybe.
That's true. I can't speak for you. 2-0 as Thomas's second offering was inside. Thomas now staked to a 4-0 lead. She'll lead off the bottom half of this inning as well. Rocks and deals. There's a called strike on the inside corner.
Link
Steph
grounded.
Thomas, since IHA has a game right after this, the only question for them will be whether she starts the second one as well. 2-1, bouncing ball up the middle. Jones takes the easy play to first for out number 3. So score that 4-3 to end it. Jones factoring in every play of that inning. And this time, Pensbury, they strand one, get a single in the inning. They're down 4-0 as we head to the bottom of the fourth. Headed to the bottom of the fourth, you're on the NJ.org Varsity Network. Ricky Sobrano alongside Matt Nelson. 4-0 ball game. IHA on top of Pensbury. Casey Baltersdorf out for her 4th inning of work, and IHA finally got to her last inning to the tune of 4 runs. After Baltersdorf had flirted with trouble the first 3 innings, or 2 innings rather, had managed to wiggle out of it, could not do so in the last frame. Here's Steph Thomas, the leadoff girl, to lead it off. She takes a strike. Only 2 of the runs surrendered last inning by Baltersdorf will be earned, at least according to my notebook. Down low, 1-1. 1 scored on a throwing error and 1 on a fly ball that should have been caught in shallow center by Andrus. But with those fly balls, they don't always give errors, so who knows how they'll score it. That one down low from Baltersdorf, make the count 2-1 to Thomas. Line right at Litwin over at first. That's an atom ball. It was hit hard, but in the wrong spot.
And with that line out, Thomas is now 2 for 3 after she hit a pair of singles in the first and second innings. And she's much of a threat at the plate as she is in the circle.
So here is Reese Guevara. Lefty on lefty matchup. Guevara 1 for 2 today. Single in the first and a ground out in the second. Takes inside, ball 1.
That was actually
or they'll
taken
call
for
that a strike.
Strike.
Okay.
I didn't see.
Did not see a signal. Yeah.
No.
That's a line in the center going back over the head of Andrus, and it's up over the wall for a ground rule double. That was scalded by Guevara, perhaps showing why she's already recruited to college as just a freshman.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's amazing how a high school freshman is heading to college 4 years from now. We have an idea of where she's going. You know, she can decommit if she chooses and me taking her offer, but that was just a bullet, the hardest hit ball that we've seen thus far in the game.
Far and away, Andrus had no chance. Here's Daniela Ibarra, shortstop and number 3 hitter. She's 0 for 1 today with a walk and a run scored. Another lefty. She takes a strike on the inside corner, 0-1. Guevara is not big either. She's definitely on the small side, so that's an impressive amount of pop. The 0-1, grounded weakly up the middle. Now we'll advance Guevara to third as Ibarra is thrown out 4-3. Hart to Litwin. So now 2 outs, runner on third, bottom of the fourth. 4-0 game, IHA on top, trying to add to the lead here. They've had a runner on third in every inning so far. Here's Angelina McGuire, the cleanup hitter. takes a strike on the inside corner, 0-1. So Guevara, as she continues to grow, again, she's only a freshman. She'll add even more power, you have to figure. Outside, ball 1. And McGuire at the plate. She doesn't need to add any more power. And hit the ball a reported 240 feet. 1-1. Fastball on the inside corner, 1-2.
She actually played on the U.S. women's national baseball team.
Something which I did not know existed until just now.
Right, and she was actually one of the last cuts to make it out of high school.
The 1-2, a waste pitch up high, 2-2.
I would love to see, in person, and this is actually on my bucket list as of right now, a girls or women's baseball game.
Not a lot of them. 2-2. Spitting out of the way is McGuire. That'll run the count full. There's the famous movie A League of Their Own. But that's about it for women's baseball. It's all softball. Here's the payoff. McGuire fights it off to stay alive. So 3-2 to count, 2 down. Runner on third, 4-0 game, IHA on top. Baltersdorf trying to avoid any further trouble. Grounded to second, hard on 2 hops, will flip the first in time for out number 3. So IHA again gets a runner to third base, but Baltersdorf able to strand that runner. Score holds at 4-0, IHA on top as we head to the top of the 5th. Added to the 5th. Here on the NJ.org Varsity Network, Ricky Sobrano alongside Matt Nelson. 4-0 game, IHA on top of Pensbury here in Game 1 of the IHA Invitational. Steph Thomas out for her 5th inning of work. She's been excellent so far, virtually unscathed. Bailey Zaccaro will lead it off for Pensbury. It'll be 6-7-8 in the 5th inning as Pensbury needs to get a rally going. That's not going to do it. Little looper to short. That's an easy play for Ibarra. So one shortstop lines out to the other. 1 pitch, 1 out for Steph Thomas. Thomas has only allowed 2 hits so far. Here's Alpa, the designated player. 0 for 1 today. Thomas deals a strike, 0-1.
That's a good fastball by Thomas. Obviously, one of the keys to a lot of pitchers' success has to be the fastball.
The 0-1, this one just missed, 1-1. Yeah, Thomas works off of her fastball, no doubt about that. It's in the mid to high 60s, pretty good heat. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Alpa can't catch up to the heater.
Man, she's just made that fastball work no matter where it goes.
Well, it's been largely 1 pitch.
Already 5 strikeouts on the afternoon, and
there's number 6. Alpa, strikeout victim for the 2nd time in the ball game. 2 quick outs for Steph Thomas. Just worked 2 1-2-3 innings in this ball game in the 2nd and 3rd, going for number 3 here. Line up the middle, and that will spoil the 1-2-3 inning bid. Well struck single by Tori Andrus, the center fielder.
No relation to Elvis Andrus from Major League Baseball.
Spelled a little bit differently. So now the lineup will turn over. Marguerite Salamore, the catcher at the dish. She's 0 for 2 today, grounded out the 2nd twice. That one's down low, ball 1. Runner on first, 2 down. Top of the 5th, 4-0 game. IHA on top of Pensbury. Swing and a miss. Good heat again from Steph Thomas.
And she just continues to bolster her opponents with that fastball. Of course, she struck out Andrus on a fastball, who was the last batter to face Steph Thomas.
That'll make the count 1-2 as Salmore fought that one off behind the plate, but she's in a hole. Very few good swings on the Thomas fastball in this game. Andrus on first and one of the few on that last single. 1-2, that's a waste pitch, 2-2. And I'll change the eye level. We'll see if Thomas goes back down low. Two, swing and a miss, strike 3. Strikeout number 7 for Steph Thomas. She's been mowing him down here this morning. She certainly didn't sleep in. So Pensbury, they strand one on one hit. Headed to the last of the 5th, 4-0 game. IHA on top. Headed to the bottom of the 5th here on the NJ.org Varsity Network. Ricky Sobrato alongside Matt Nelson on a windy Saturday morning. IHA on top of Pensbury 4-zip. First pitch of the inning is bounced weakly back to Boltersdorf for a quick out number 1, 1-3, as Rachel Pollard, first batter of the inning, is retired. Boltersdorf. It's only the second time she's gotten first batter of the inning retired. Here is Cieslak, 0 for 2 today. And she takes a strike, 0-1. After Cieslak, that's the part of the lineup that did the damage, due up. Line like a bullet, but right at Hart at second. 2 quick outs, but the second of the 2 was well struck.
So it looks like Boltersdorf is now getting into her rhythm after a banged-up 3rd inning. She's been very efficient over, well, she's actually been very efficient since the 4th inning.
Now here's Sharma. There's a slow off-speed pitch on the inside corner, 0-1. Well, Boltersdorf was in a whole heap of trouble the last 2 innings, or the first 3 rather. Last inning she settled down a bit, only allowed 1 runner on. But she's thrown a lot of pitches and been in a lot of trouble in this ball game, down 4-0. Here's the 0-1, up high, ball 1. Sharma is factored into that. She is 1 for 1 with an RBI and a walk. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Got the fastball by her.
Sharma also stole a base in the 2nd, and the double in the 3rd was an RBI double. She also scored in that inning, respectively.
Stays alive as she taps that one foul. So Boltersdorf trying to work her first 1-2-3 inning. She's allowed a runner in scoring position, at least 1, in every inning to this point, too. Just missed on that 1-2 offering, and leaving the count at 2-2. Boltersdorf rocks and fires. Fly ball deep to left, gone. Jana Sharma, a solo home run, 5-0 game as IHA keeps stretching out this lead.
And that's a big boost right there for IHA, and you can definitely tell that ball was long gone down the left field line, and a souvenir for some of the fans who are probably going to come at least stay out to watch maybe the 2nd game of this invitational.
I think they actually have to throw it back.
Are you kidding me?
I don't think there's souvenirs in this.
Ah, nice
Yeah.
softball. Come on.
There's a finite amount of softballs that they have. So here is Emily Walter. Takes inside ball 1, but
So
that
we're gonna have
ball
to call
was
that
long gone.
We're going to have to call that a temporary souvenir then.
Yeah, a temporary souvenir. That works. I think actually one of the other teams may be warming up with it right now. 2-0. Beyond the left field fence, the team's getting ready for the next game, warming up. So I think they actually retrieve the ball.
I believe that is New Roselle out of New York State. We'll be playing Pensbury in the second game of this invitational.
So Boltersdorf falls behind 3-0. Perhaps a bit rattled after the long ball. She deals. There's a strike. Get me over fastball, 3-1. Emily Walter 1 for 2 today with an RBI, and now she works a walk. So Boltersdorf again in trouble. Set down the first 2 Blue Eagles of the inning, then allowed a solo home run and now walked Walter. So here is Kocha, runner on first, 2 down, bottom of the 5th, 5-0 game. IHA on top. Time called at the plate. Boltersdorf taking a long time to get the sign. Now she has what she wants. Swing and a miss, strike 1. So now Steph Thomas, who waits on deck, is staked to a nice, cozy 5-0 lead. That went a little bit low, 1-1. And that will not be easy for Pensbury to get to her and try to get back into this ball game. 2-1 is that last pitch high. Thomas has not allowed an earned run this season so far. Granted, only 2 games, now 3, but still. Popped up, right side, giving chase, not making the play though. Is the right fielder Groder. The wind is whipping around and looked like that ball dove down into her right at the last second.
Emily Walter, the base runner at first, was already going, and by the time that ball hit the ground, she was almost at home plate.
Well, she would have scored easily if that ball was fair and it wasn't foul by much. 2-2 is up high. That'll run the count full, 3-2. So now Walter, who runs well, as we now know, will get a head start. She'll score on anything in the gaps easily. Here's the payoff. Fly ball. Shallow right center. Wind has it, but Groder makes the catch for out number 3. So IHA leaves 1, but they get 1 on the long solo home run by Jana Sharma, her first of the season. We're through 5 full here in New Jersey. 5-0 game. IHA on top of Pensbury.
5-0 IHA as we head to the top of the 6th. Matt Nelson taking over play-by-play. Ricky Sobrano alongside. As Steph Thomas heads to the circle for her 6th inning of work. First pitch to the third baseman via Pitt is, I believe that was taken out of the strike zone for ball 1. The pitch. Pitt swings and grounds 1 foul to the backstop for strike 2.
Mia Pitt 0 for 2 today. She's been a strikeout victim twice. 2 of the 7 for Thomas.
Ground ball hit down the third base line, and Pitt is on with a single.
And that's a good way to snap an over. And a non-contact morning as well. The nice little single through the left side. But Pensbury will need more of that, down 5-0.
Farrell Groder, the batter, slowly waving the bat behind her helmet. Strike 1 on Groder. who is 2 for 2 with a pair of singles. And the 0-1 is taken outside for ball one. That evens up the count at 1-1. With a runner at first here in the top of the sixth. 5-0 IHA, game one of the IHA Invitational on day one of this two-day event. That pitch just missed inside for ball two. So it's now 2-1 on the Falcons' right fielder, Farrell Groder.
So Groder is 2 for 2 or 1 for 2, depending on how you look at it. That first one was up for debate. That was the high throw by Guevara in the first.
And a ground ball hit to second, fielded by Jones. And that will advance Pitt to second on the sacrifice 4-3.
No point in risking trying to turn what would have been a tough two for IHA there. Smart play by Jones to just take the easy out, up 5-0. No point in taking a risk and maybe starting a rally for Pensbury, throwing a ball away.
Danny Litwin lifts the ball into the air. Jones takes a few steps back and makes the catch in the backside of the infield. And there were two down here in the top of the sixth.
So Jones unfazed by working with the runner in scoring position. There have been very, very few of those in this ball game for Pensbury. In fact, this is their first since the first inning.
Here's Casey Boltersdorf as Thomas steals the first pitch, and Boltersdorf swings and fouls it at home plate for strike one. So a battle of the pitchers. Thomas with the hot hand in this game.
The battle of the pitchers has been easily won so far by Steph Thomas. She's 2 for 3, Boltersdorf 0 for 2.
Boltersdorf takes the 0-1 pitch outside for ball one. 5-0 IHA. Top six, runner at second, two down. Righty on lefty, and the pitch. Swing and a slow dribbler that rolls foul off to the right side.
Boltersdorf jammed on that last swing. Seems to have an opposite field approach at the plate. Hit a couple down the line in her first at bat that hooked foul.
And she skies this one in the right field. Pollard backs up and makes the catch, and the side is retired. So Thomas leaves a runner at second. Still 5-0 IHA here on the NJ.org Varsity Sports Network. Bottom of the sixth inning as Pensbury sends a new pitcher to the circle. Unsure of the name of the player. All we know is that she is wearing number 24, and she will face the top of the Blue Eagles order. Steph Thomas, Reese Guevara, and Daniela Ibarra. 1-1 the count to Thomas, who is 2 for 3 with a pair of singles. She grounds this one to second and is retired in 3 pitches. So one away here in the bottom of the sixth. 5-0 IHA. Matt Nelson, Ricky Sobrano along with you. Ricky was actually trying to find the other half of the IHA Invitational roster as Guevara steps in.
And it was a false alarm. It is Boltersdorf still on the hill.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
The wind is definitely starting to pick up here in the township of Washington, New Jersey. A called strike to Reese Guevara. and she's behind 1-2. A freshman who is already committed to Villanova, and she swings and misses and strikes out.
Second strikeout of the ball game for Boltersdorf. Surrendered 5 runs so far. Only 3 of them will be earned. Should be, at least.
Sorry, Daniela Ibarra now the batter. She takes the first pitch up and in for ball 1. One of the things that we did not mention about Guerrero in terms of committing to a college, she committed to UConn before the season started.
Mm-hmm.
I was very surprised when I spoke with Coach Anthony Lorenzo about this.
Well, this is the softball season here, the main one at least, so if she's committed, it would have had to be before the season.
Let alone she's a freshman, and she had no high school softball games under her belt. (3-0) on Daniela Ibarra. Make that 3-1 with the called strike. Ibarra is 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. And takes the pitch high for ball 4.
So again, Boltersdorf can't quite get that elusive 1-2-3 inning. Last 2 innings, she was close. Got the first 2 outs and then allowed the next girl to reach.
So here is McGuire. She skies one to straightaway center. Nikki Naylor makes the catch, and the side is retired. (5-0) IHA. We go to the 7th here on the NJ.org Varsity Sports Network. It will be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters, starting with Fiona Link as Steph Thomas throws the first pitch for a strike, 0-1.
Thomas has been dominating so far.
7 strikeouts in this game to give her 24 on the season.
Pensbury hasn't gotten a runner past second in this game. Got one to second in the first and last inning in the 6th.
Link swings and misses. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Way too late on that fastball, and that's really been what it's about today for Thomas. Straight heat. A lot of fastballs, challenging hitters.
Ground ball down the first base line. That is going to be ruled foul. Thomas went 29-1 last season with a .34 ERA in 30 games. 231 Ks is probably the most impressive number in her stat book. Now that is probably equivalent to the number of strikeouts you would typically see from an MLB ace, a Clayton Kershaw,
well, how many
CC
innings?
Sabathia, even though they pitched 9 innings. These are 7-inning games. So it's amazing that she has equaled the number of strikeouts that a Major League Baseball ace would throw in a single season.
It goes according to the number of innings pitched. Offhand, I don't know how many she threw that inning, but that's I'm assuming it's in excess of 1 per inning to 231. Assuming.
Link grounds one back to Thomas, and the throw to first is in time. And Pensbury is down to their final 2 outs. Down 5-0 here in the top of the 7th with the bases empty.
So it'll be very difficult for Pensbury to mount a comeback here down to their final 6 strikes against a pitcher of Thomas's caliber with the bottom third of the lineup due up. But let's see what they can do.
Bailey Sicaro grounds one up the middle, fielded by Jones, and the throw to first is in time. 1 pitch And another quick out for Steph Thomas.
Nice stretch over there at first by Cieslak. Throw was a little wide of the first base bag, but she kept her back left foot on the bag as she stretched out.
So the Falcons are down to their last out of the game. I believe Alpa is the batter. Righty on lefty, and the pitch is high for ball one. Sorry, that was a high strike.
And the umpire all game long, he hasn't been very emphatic with those strike calls, which, as far away as we are, that's been a little bit problematic.
Didn't get a good look at that second pitch, but it moves the count to 0-2, and the Falcons are down to their final strike.
Alpa tried essentially a swinging bunt there, but was unable to keep it fair.
She squares bunt, and that's the ball game. Steph Thomas strikes out Alpa to end the game, and the Blue Eagles win this game by a final score of 5-0. They win the first game of the IHA Invitational here at Immaculate Heart Academy.
And this was just a dominating performance by Steph Thomas. She went the distance for the shutout, 7 innings, only about 4 hits by my count, no runs. Didn't walk a batter, and struck out 8, and Pensbury really was just never able to mount much of an attack on her at all for the entire game, and that was essentially the game in a nutshell, as her counterpart, Casey Boltersdorf, was nowhere near as dominating, ended up giving up 5 runs. I believe only 3 will be earned. Again, we're not the official scorers. We'll see how they deal with that later. But was in and out of trouble all game long, and Steph Thomas was just the superior of the 2 pitchers.
As we welcome you to our quick post-game show, again, Matt Nelson with Ricky Sobrano, and Ricky, as you mentioned, was all about Steph Thomas, and that third inning really banged up the Pensbury Falcons in this ballgame.
Yeah, and the third inning was really the inning of reckoning as they got the 4 runs that they needed and then some, because it didn't appear this game could have gone 10 or 11 innings, and Steph Thomas wouldn't have allowed much of anything. So once you got the 4, you got the sense that IHA was not going to cough it up. And it was basically small ball that inning, station-to-station baseball. We're talking about a walk, a hit batsman, then a single. Eventually you have a throwing error in there, then another single, and that's basically the ball game. And then finally the coup d'etat, if you will, was a solo home run later, and then also the missed fly ball in center by Andrus that should have been caught. We'll see if they scored a hit or an error, but in any event, that was the 4th run of that inning.
And we're looking forward to seeing Thomas potentially pitch in tomorrow's game, which we will have for you right here on the NJ.org Varsity Sports Network. They will play St. Joe's of Hamilton, New Jersey, which is based out of South Jersey. Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., we will have it for you here on the NJ.org Varsity Sports Network. For Ricky Sobrano, I'm Matt Nelson, signing off for now. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Thanks for tuning in, and have a great day, everyone.